Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to cilinixfxcapital, or welcome to the channel if you're new, and welcome to this new video. I wanted to make a little middle of the day market update here, while I'm getting all sorts of alerts right now on different cryptos. On the news we had, because we actually had some pretty big news over the course of this afternoon. I think it's about 1.5 hours ago, regarding Ripple, and I think this news is flying under the radar a little bit, and I think it's much more bullish than right now we can see from the price. Even though, and we'll take a look at that a little bit later as well, we have actually seen some strength from XRP as well. But like I said, we'll talk about that at the end. First, just wanted to talk about the news and why I think it actually matters more than what it does. Or at least than what we can see right now, or that I hear right now in Ripple circles. But alright, so what happened is that Ripple announced the acquisition of Hidden Road for $1.25 billion, one of the largest deals ever in the crypto space, which is already major. Now, it's a prime broker, so basically what Hidden Road does is all sorts of institutional services, and I think they're private. There's also huge banks that do basically the same, but it's a major company. They have about 3 trillion annually. I think that's in total volume for some major top financial institutions. And then some of the things that I think matter most is that a part of that capital and activity will also tap into XRP and XRP ledgers network, of course. And that is, and also using RLUSD as collateral across its prime brokerage services. I think that's the part that matters most. Now, if you zoom out, in general, it's great to see. Like, this was one of the big questions that I personally had after the closure of the Ripple SEC case. What's Ripple going to do? All right, is it slowly going to burn out like a dying candle, or are they actually going to make some major moves right now that they have some financial certainty and some financial room? And it seems like the latter right now is the case. I mean, an acquisition for $1.25 billion, which by the way is part cash, it's part XRP and part stock, so it's a very mixed deal. That's a major move. All right, and then what I like most is the actual potential for XRP and the network behind XRP, all right, the XRP ledger. Because what we miss a lot in crypto is some actual revenue, some actual businesses behind crypto. And with this, we see that XRP is actually doing that. And just in general, it's not directly correlated, but the value of a cryptocurrency, in this case XRP, is very dependent, especially with networks. There's other types of cryptocurrencies as well, of course, but with XRP coin, it's very dependent on the XRP ledger. So if that's going to grow, if there's more volume, that will also attract more liquidity, that will attract more decentralized applications, that will attract more developers. It's great. It's all great. All right. Now, it might sound a little bit too amazing how I'm saying it. Obviously, we will still have to see whether that activity actually grows, right? And by how much. So in theory, and that's obviously what Brad is also trying to say, in theory, it's all amazing. In practice, we still have to say. And then lastly, using RLUSD as collateral, I think is great as well. Not too long ago, and it's still kind of ongoing, there was a bit of a stablecoin narrative in crypto. Obviously not in the last week, but there was quite a lot of strength. So if RLUSD, again, if the volume increases, liquidity increases, that could also become a major stablecoin, and being part of that stablecoin narrative for XRP is also great news. But like I said, this is all theoretical. Now we actually see what's going to happen. We have to know how much of that capital and activity will actually tap into the XRP ledger, etc., etc. So that's definitely something I will keep an eye on, and I will keep reporting on. What we have seen so far with XRP, look, the problem is that XRP is just very correlated to Bitcoin. And the correlation has decreased slightly, but obviously with all the fundamentals influencing the markets right now, it is still most important to XRP what Bitcoin is going to do instead of the news that we had. What we did see briefly is that we actually had some volume coming in from USDC. All right, so I'm not sure if you can still see that. Well, yeah, you can still kind of see that. But you can see, for example, that the open interest in XRP USDC has actually gone up quite a bit. So a lot of longs being opened, probably around Coinbase, probably around the US, which is usually what USDC orders mean. So that was pushing XRP up a little bit, and I think when we're talking about the price of XRP right here, short term, It's still very dependent on Bitcoin. All right, so if Bitcoin can actually see some recovery here, I think XRP can reclaim $2, and we can get back into this balance, into this range right here. If Bitcoin is going to pull back, it's going to follow that, and that's very dependent, obviously, on the trade war. However, long term, I think this news matters. All right, I think it will make XRP more attractive to buy at bottoms, and I also think we have a higher likelihood on our own to actually get that reclaim, even if Bitcoin is not that strong later. But that is something I will keep you updated on. I think that's everything I wanted to talk about right now regarding the news and what it means, and also the different possibilities with the price. I'll be back with more updates very soon, of course, but for now, that's what you need to know. So thank you for watching. Have a great day. Have a great rest of your week as well. And I'll see you on my next XRP analysis tomorrow morning.